Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. Playing Rivulet for real this time, not the fake Rivulet, that's me. Just forget to mute my own stream. But hello? This is not real attempts. Let's look at this for a second. I have some mods, bunch of mods. I've upgraded to keep that away from me. I used to use this mod. This one also lets you disable creatures, but more effectively. So I have basically a bunch of creatures disabled, except for like yeeks, like grapple worm. So I don't have to like use Beastmaster to spawn in a grapple worm halfway through the run. So this will just be practice for now. I've kind of regained interest in this category due to a number of optimizations that have been found for this run. So, you know, new strats that I have to learn. It's not even a scavenger that spawns in here. That's disabled too. I think I also have karma requirements disabled, so I want the karma cache, which honestly, maybe that's a good idea to have for the actual speedrun. Just disable karma requirements altogether to make the run a lot more reasonable. It really is just, it really does just add like two to 3 minutes of just nothing to sort of every run. No snail tier makes a big difference. Usually they get in the way. Same with scavengers. So that funny thing is that actually karma caching does not actually add like any time at all. Or maybe it does, like the time that it takes to starve. But it doesn't really affect the timer that much. So this is it's like whatever the timer is at the end of this run is actually a pretty accurate representation of how fast the run could have been, even accounting for like not karma caching. Not too familiar with that yet. I think I should wait a bit longer before jumping up. I got stuck on that ledge. Also, I don't think I'm going to do like a full run all the way to the end. Well, I might make it to the end, but if I ever like make a big mistake, then I will like go back and like practice that segment a few times. Because if I make a mistake in an area, it means that I do need to practice it more to get consistent at it. Favorite flavors? I mean, I don't know. I haven't even had like half of those. Kind of fast Rivulet was. They can kind of mess with you when you like switch between other slug cats. It's like, oh wow, Rivulet is really just that much faster. I don't think I'm ever going to get consistent with the point. It is possible to climb up, but you have to. I don't know how you do that. Kind of awkward there. You kind of get stuck on that slope. I'd like to do that wall pound in 2 segments. For whatever reason, it's really hard to chain the whole thing together. Like, unreasonably difficult. Like the first like 3 wall pounces are not that bad once you get used to the timing, but then the like 4th wall pounce is like impossible for some reason. I think it's because you do like a pole hop instead, and the pole hop eats the jump input, so you don't do a wall pounce. Oh, don't go in there. And so if you like climb on the pole for a bit and then you do the rest of the wall pounce, then it lines up better. Slide your face into the wall and press jumping will achieve the same effect. Yep. Those are also wall pounces. I picked up that rock. Also, it's totally unnecessary to eat a bat fly there. It does let you karma cache on the next shelter. Maybe it does save a little bit of time, like you don't need to eat 1 extra slime mold later, maybe. Just make sure that you're able to eat a neuron fly afterwards. Oops. Another thing I should point out, I have extra long cycles. Look at that timer. So that if I want to practice one room over and over again, I don't have to wait for the rain every time. Unlucky with the grapple worms. As they don't come down, you have to come up here to grab them. Yeah, let's bring 2. Let's bring 2 grapple worms this time, for some reason. Oh gosh. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, I kind of messed up this room. Something else I was planning on doing, and I didn't have a backup plan. This room is kind of crazy. Don't do that. Let me retry that. This is why I have dev tools on. Nope, not that either. This does make the room significantly more difficult. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet. That was kind of better. Maybe I'll do one more attempt. Yeah, that's closer to ideal as long as you don't hit the wall at the end. You can just jump across. Yeah, a little bit more difficult, but you can't just make that jump. Not a little bit more difficult, actually. There you go. Just remember to use coyote time. For some reason, sometimes you go into that tunnel backwards. I think that this is task. If this was task, it would be like twice as fast. There's a bunch of random frame perfect tech in this game. Except I actually saw a clip of someone doing a bunch of that frame perfect clips on their own. No tasks, no like game slowdown. So maybe it is possible to do it consistently. Yeah, I mean, okay, so there's this slug cat that has like 10 different names because they don't actually have an official name. The pain cat is the easiest to say. And I'm never going to play them. This area is probably one that I need to practice the most. Because the gravity keeps changing back and forth and it's completely random how much it changes or like when it changes. Not how much. It means you basically need to learn the entire area twice over. Like every room you need to know how to do in low gravity and in normal gravity. In some rooms it's like just ideal to have one or the other. Like in that previous room, it was nice that the gravity back to normal. It's way easier. And it's not like some kind of cycle that you can line up and keep consistent. The time that it takes to switch between the two is random every time. The rot, everyone's favorite region. Is there something you could do here? Yeah, you can do that, although I don't really like that. It's like it's more difficult. I just got grabbed by the rot. I'm gonna wait for gravity to switch again. I'm gonna practice this room in normal gravity. Yeah, it's quite difficult. And there's an alternative method to this where you do that, but that isn't consistent either. Strange room. Because in low gravity, you can just do this. Unless the cycle changes halfway through. And that's how you do the rest of it. Who's missing a rot? Yeah. I have creatures disabled, remember? So some of the rot isn't going to be here. Oh dear. You don't want this to happen. Can't you just, yeah, you can do that. That's way easier. Well, maybe not easier, but more consistent. Swimming in that room is kind of awkward. Just a little break to eat a snack. So how fast I can make this cycle here. I found a new strat for this room, where you do a slide bounce here. Just kidding. Let me try that again. Slide bounce here. There you go. I still don't know how to do this area. Actually, let me go back to that. This little area right here, it's really annoying. You usually get stuck on those blocks. Guess what I just did there kind of worked out. But I don't know if I can replicate that consistently. I bounced, and so I entered the pipe in the wrong direction. Good one. Okay, some chat messages to catch up on. Spawned like 10 singularity bombs. Why? Ever gone through the entirety of Unfortunate Development as Riv? Yes. It's a very cool area visually, but a very awful area for every other reason. There's like no reason to go there unless it's your first playthrough and of course you don't know which way to go. Of course, there ends up being other more optimal routes through the region, like the one I just took. Hold up, actually, let me go do this again. I think you can do this and do a bunch of slide bounces back to back. Okay, not that. Maybe a bit of a delay on the first one. So I didn't want to do that second slide bounce because you have a chance of running into the raw on the ceiling. I think if you do it fast enough, then it's not a problem. Also, here's a funny strat that I don't know why I didn't think this on my own. Yeah, you just roll off there. I always did a jump and I hit the ceiling. That's just an easier way to do it. That's a very tight jump. There's something else you can do here. Okay, I tried to do a, went all the way back to the start of the room. Okay, I guess we can just redo this, but I tried to do a roll pounce there, which would have done a lower jump so I didn't touch the ceiling. I guess I didn't drop from high enough. See, that's how I got the roll. Like actually a pretty tight window. If you get the roll, if you get the roll, or if you don't. These poles here are really annoying. You want to tap up so that you start standing up instead of staying in the crouch state. But you end up grabbing a pole instead and slowing down completely. I don't know why I did a backflip there. This whole area is very RNG heavy. Because there's DLLs basically everywhere. And they might just be in front of one of these tunnels. Like, these tunnels are probably the safe way to go. If you try to, there might be like a faster path through the rest of the region, through the rest of those rooms. But that would be too dangerous because you might just drop onto one of the DLLs. That's been my strat recently. Roll off that platform and then you just hold to the left and eventually you land on that platform. Or you hit that wall. So you don't take fall damage. Yeah, they also either get in the way or they just fall to their death. There's some new strats for this area. Not yet, though. Whenever you want to go into one of these tunnels, make sure that you press down early, or else you get stuck. I want you to do that roll pounce there, but you end up getting stuck in that little pit. Ooh, okay. I messed that up entirely. Let's try that again. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Now you want to do that slide bounce late as possible. I might have done it too early there. Yeah. Then you get grabbed by that tentacle. Very difficult timing, actually. Actually, jumping up in the first place can be a little bit tricky. I think that works out. Yeah, and then you can almost hit that other bit of rot there. Yes, this is just a practice run for now, as it is always. Actually, doing attempts can be a bit annoying. The very start of the run is quite monotonous. If you die a whole lot, you end up just restarting your drainage system over and over again. The very start of the run isn't the most interesting thing. Hold up. There's a strat for this room. I forget where it was. Hold up. Let me consult my reference. I know there's a better way to do this area. Alright, I actually have to wait for this. You just swim through them? Yeah, you can. They only detect you by the sound that you make. So if you swim slowly enough, you just don't make any sound at all, and they don't know that you're there. And you can just pass right through them. Alright, it's right about here. Really, from there? Is that a delayed activation? So that you can't see any of this. Okay, it looks like the same thing that you do in Underhang. So you basically... Wow, okay. Yeah, that does look like it works out better. Basically just bounce across that whole room. Same for this room. And it runs out about there, which is actually nice because you don't want it on when you're in this tunnel. Get the cursor off screen. Can you do... You can technically do that. That might be faster. So you jump and then you pounce. Although you do kind of hit the ceiling and slow down a bit. Ooh, and that doesn't line up well because you end up just going straight into that. Maybe if you did it a bit lower. It's kind of just awkward no matter how you do it. That was a fast fall I just did. Landed exactly where the monster kelp would be. I think I'm moving fast enough where that isn't a problem. Okay, you can do a bunch of wall bounces here. They're actually quite difficult. Can you just like loop them over again? You can do that. But that's actually really difficult. Maybe if you just do it twice, that's enough. It's a crazy thing you can do right here. There you go. I don't know if that's worth going for in an actual run because it's very easy to mess up, and if you fall all the way down, you lose a bunch of time. Gravel Eater. Should I play Gravel Eater? Are they an actually good character? It might be worth it to activate the reflection cell here, but I don't really know if it makes a difference because like swimming at full speed with swim boosts is about the same speed as using the refraction cell, and these sections are so short that maintaining breath doesn't really matter. And they're like just straight tunnels, so they're not too hard to control. And it's mostly like going in and out of the water with the refraction cell enabled is really annoying. This room is really difficult right here because you can, yeah, if you like line up right in the middle of the room, you can just fall down. But if you miss, then you take fall damage and it stuns you for quite a bit. Blink. There's pretty much only one part of the run where blink is actually useful, which is actually good because it's a really hard thing to do. I'll get stuck on that. And even that blink, I'm not very consistent at all. You guys know that that movement document that's like 80 pages long and it has all the movement tech in the game, or like most of the movement tech? Has that been updated to include any of the like downpour characters? Because there's some tech that is unique to the other characters, like Artificer jumping is an entirely unique mechanic, Saint's tongue is an entirely unique mechanic. It's even different than the way grapple worms work. There's a bunch of stuff unique to Rivulet, there's stuff unique to Gourmand, you know. I'm wondering if that's been updated yet, or if there's like other resources for those characters. Thank you, Jetfish, for that. Movement doc is old. Isn't there like another thing, like the movement wiki or whatever? Is that like more of the up-to-date resource for movement? This stream is really annoying. Jetfish like to bowl you. You know, I usually don't swim boost there, and I think I know why. So that did not go well. Activate the reflection cell like right here. There's one wall pounce tech that I'm not familiar with at all, and it's the like corner pounce, whatever it's called. It's something that's actually really useful as Survivor, but I have no idea how to do it. I think it involves like throw boosting, maybe. You can use it to skip one of the early rooms in Outskirts. The lizard head room. You do that corner pounce and you just like jump up to the top. You can also do another one on the wall to help with orb skips, so you don't need an extra spear. Like those are like some of the applications that are actually really useful and would make it worth learning if I ever want to go back to Survivor, of course. Also, hello, over on Twitch. Welcome to the stream. The Riv climb, you know, should I speedrun that challenge? I mean, the whole point of the challenge is kind of already a speedrun, but I don't think it's been like optimized at all. And single challenge speedruns aren't really a thing. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Thought I was consistent at that. This is like the one area where you can actually do a pounce. It means you have to slow down a little bit to line up with it. Hello? There's a pole right here. I just stood on this pole. Wow. She's suggesting that Rivulet was in submerged superstructure so long that it started snowing. As in, like, a lot of time passed. So it's now, like, everything's snowing like it is for Saint. No, it's just for that this one region, it's colder. So it's, like, very far out on the edge of the map. Wait. I should do a pounce here. Let me try this again. Well, I just mess with the gravity cycle. Because normally when you enter this room, it's normal gravity for a bit. So I didn't really replicate that. Ah, 33. That's like world record. Maybe I should try to do a run without slowing down at all. Because there were a lot of parts where I wanted to slow down and like retry a section multiple times to try to like not make any mistakes. Maybe I should try to do a full run with creatures disabled. Oh, the challenge. Hold up. Actually, I'm interested in this. 59. Oh yeah, this one. Oh. Okay, I just started over there. There's supposed to be lizards at the end. That is a cool challenge. I wish there were more of these like movement-based challenges. This one was really fun. This is what inspired that other speedrun that I did, where I used the gun. That's a good challenge too. Although the gun controls are really weird to get used to when you're starting out. That one room is about 2 planks wide. That's not how it works at all. The plank is incredibly inconsistent in the direction that it sends you in and the distance that it gives you. So, you know, if you tried to line it up perfectly so that you plank and then land on that platform, that would never line up properly. Plus the difficulty of actually doing the plank in the first place. This one, challenge 68. I don't even know the route for this room, for this challenge. Yeah, good start. I wish the screen wasn't black for the first like 5 seconds of the challenge. How do you even continue here? Do you have to go this way, or can you like take another path? I can't look at the map. That's not even a route. Here, which way do you go here? I guess through that pipe. Is that the only way you can go? It also looks like there's another path that you can take. Yep. Oh, good song playing. I thought that was something else. I'll get back to doing the actual run in a little bit. Yeah, that annoying thing. The angle is different every time. It's really hard to tell where you're supposed to go. This looks like a funny room. Oh, I can't even do wall pounds because there's a thing blocking me. That's blocking me too. Okay, this is the way you're supposed to go. I'm spending too much time trying to do some tricks. Could have just taken the obvious path and it would have been faster. Okay, honestly, this is kind of an awkward challenge. Be weird to optimize this. All right, let's go back to the actual run. So I'll do this I'll do the full run without creatures, and I'll try to just like keep moving forward the whole time. Watch it kind of explain how I do that jump out of the water, but I don't think I figured it out myself. I kind of do this swim boost just below the surface of the water, and then I tap up. But that doesn't always work. Because we're playing Rain World. Of course, it can't always work. I guess if I was holding up there, I would have grabbed onto the pole. When I was actually doing real attempts for this speedrun, before I got the world record, I reset a lot in this first room, just trying to get a good jump out of the water. Good amount of the runs ended here. It's just annoying. Once you fail it the first time, it takes a long time to get another jump for some reason. You basically just have to do it first try. That was two. Alright, let me look at this for a second. I don't know if it just skip the 3 on the left. That's exactly what you want to get. Okay. I think that these fruit are still the fastest ones to get. There's other fruits on the right side of this room, but they're kind of slow to get. You have to climb up a little bit to grab them. And there's other fruit later in drainage. But also, those are the fruit that you want to grab on the way out. It's like maybe it'd be faster to get some combination of those fruit later, but also there's usually scavengers over there, so maybe while you're trying to eat them, you'll get stabbed by the scavengers. There's fruit right there. And maybe this one too. Also, I think I figured out what's wrong with the height boost there. Whenever you do or a tunnel boost. Whenever you do a tunnel boost, there's a cooldown when you can do another one. And so if you tunnel boost into a pipe, you can't tunnel boost out of the pipe. This will still be on cooldown. Oh, great. So of course, when I don't think that I have turn storage, I do have it. So if you want to tunnel boost out of a pipe, then you need to not tunnel boost into it. Unless you do it super early. But the cooldown is back up by the time you leave. I don't even really bother with going for that most of the time. I like trying to practice it. The moment you mess it up once, you're already losing time, right? Compared to if you just climbed up normally. Yeah, I always do this too. Challenge 70 speedrun? I'm good. This is really awkward. So you want to do backflip there, but sometimes you don't have enough space to do a backflip. But the plank is cool. Actually, there's like that's a good point. On the world record video, people left comments talking about the plank. And if the plank is like the cool movement tech that gets people interested in doing the speedrun themselves, then maybe it's worth keeping in for when I do actual attempts. That was just kind of bad in general. This whole run actually, it's like not been completely great. But maybe this is just a replication of if there were creatures, you know? This is how much I'd be slowed down roughly. I want to do more into this category. I really recommend doing something like this. Some sort of practice with creatures disabled or just dev tools on. Like if you're, especially for practicing like underhang, right? It's pretty easy to fall. But every time you fall, it means that, oops, go in the shelter first. Every time you fall, it means that you have to go back to this shelter and restart, right? And there's a few rooms that you have to get through before you actually get back to the underhang section. Part with actually difficult movement that you want to practice. But if you have dev tools on, you can just like teleport yourself back up and try the room again instead of restarting the whole thing. That was close. course, it depends on how much you care about like getting a good run. Just want to see that if you can improve on your previous attempts, then like, oops, you don't need to go out of way to practice it a lot. That was almost bad. Am I gonna allow this? I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna try to do this room again. This has become one of the more difficult rooms in the run. As if it wasn't already kind of difficult. Oh, I didn't even activate dead tools. Yeah, I actually have the fast roll button key bound to the same key that pushes you around with DevTools on. The one that pulls you towards the cursor. So I always like kind of get used to enabling it, or pausing the game, enable it, teleports, disable DevTools. That's my process. Yeah, like every single one of those keys does something with DevTools on. About 2 seconds slower than last time. Invisible scab. Oh, right, the one at the very beginning. Because I have creatures disabled, so that scab doesn't even show up. You actually want to get a turnaround there? I picked up a mushroom. You want to get the turnaround there because you move faster. But if you jump too soon, you end up doing a backflip. Yeah, I want to see... Maybe I do need to just practice more instead of going for a full run. You can kind of slide up the wall a little bit to get some extra height. That was a lot slower. Rivulet is fair and balanced, yep. Wow, that actually kind of like was lined up perfectly. Saint spin too? I don't think I'm making Rivulet spin. There's something that Rivulet can do. Yep, that's what you're supposed to do. But also, every time I say I'm gonna make a video, I never get around to actually making it, so I don't know about that. Yeah, you want to jump a lot earlier on that one, or else you almost go into the top pipe first. It's raining in the rain world. Actually, it isn't raining. It's like a few more minutes until it actually rains. Actually, a lot more minutes. Like, maybe over an hour. I have the rain timer multiplier set to 10 times. I think the actually, no, not an hour, like 40 minutes. Yeah, it takes 40 minutes for it to rain. Thing to throw. That works too. That actually didn't work out that well. So fast pole climbing tech that you can do, as most characters, that lets you climb poles faster. But Rivulet can't do it because they move too fast. I actually don't really know exactly what it is. Maybe they jump off the poles too quickly, so they like lose grip. Oh wow, that was almost perfect. But it is actually possible to do fast pole climbs as Rivulet. They're just extremely difficult, like almost close to frame perfect. They might actually be frame perfect. But I have been kind of looking into learning how to do them. They would only be useful in like the gutter and like a few other locations. I'm just gonna keep going, honestly. It'd probably save like a few seconds at most if you perfectly fast pole climbed across the whole run. There's something kind of appealing about it, like trying to do this tech that is almost impossible. Any fast pole climb, you just do it faster than normal. It's really hard for me to explain it in words. I think there's a video of like how to do it with like a slow down video, the input display on. Also, I forgot to eat, but I don't think that matters. Yeah, I have enough food anyway after the neuron. One where you jump like a normal fastball climb, or you mean the one that Rivulet does, where you kind of like jump off of the pole and wall jump back on? But I really can't explain how it actually works. Like you jump, and then jump to the left, jump to the right, jump to the left, and you kind of repeat, and that's this pattern. Oh, I did not notice that gravity just changed for some reason. That is actually the ideal cycle. Sounds complicated. It really isn't. I mean, it kind of is, but you just get used to the rhythm. And it becomes kind of like natural. For Rivulet, it's a similar pattern, but you have to press one of the inputs like in exactly a specific frame for every time you do a jump. I don't know what a good time is to eat the neuron. I'd say usually when you're waiting for the cycle to change, but I feel like for pretty much every room, there is a way to do it with normal or low gravity, so you don't ever need to like stop moving. Oh boy, frame perfect. Not an unusual thing for this game, surprisingly. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. Nice pounce, dude. I messed up. It's the kind of way that you can get in the refraction cell room while the gravity is low, but it's really awkward. And I got that. Roll pounce. Maybe that works out. Like the roll pounce is low enough where you kind of sneak into that room. Yeah, you can eat the neuron while you're floating in low grav. So ideally, you kind of float across the room while eating. But if you move too fast, then you're not able to eat it. But most of the time, jumping off of a pole will just make you go too fast. I don't know if there's a consistent way to set that up, especially since it's inconsistent when it's going to be low gravity. Taking a look at Celeste Tech. Does Celeste have frame perfect stuff? I mean, I know that it's like you can make a level with frame perfect. I guess there's the demo dash. That's probably what you're referring to. But that's more of a like a pixel perfect thing. Whoops, don't jump there. $28? Yeah. I mean it's definitely possible, right? You only need to save 26 seconds compared to world record, right? And I think I was able to find 30 seconds of time save before you even came along and started finding all of your optimizations. I mean, like, sub 28 might actually be possible. Most of Celeste's actually practical movement tech is not even close to frame perfect. Like, wave dashes are like probably one of the main ones, and those are actually pretty easy to do once you learn it. I guess I should point out that for Rivulet, creatures are still a big problem. I forgot to do the thing for this room. Maybe sub 28 would be like much more reasonable without creatures, but then with creatures it just becomes RNG. This room has been particularly difficult for me. Not that jump though. That last jump is actually quite easy. My experience. I don't like that though. If the cell is still on. I especially don't like that. So I need to get used to that timing. You can do a roll pounce there, but it's actually quite tricky to get consistently. If you're not falling fast enough, you'll just do a regular jump into the rot on the ceiling. Oh. I guess if you do that, you need to do a roll, so you don't take fall damage. I didn't mean to grab onto the top pole anyway. Thing I found for this room, you can roll off of this platform and it kind of lines you up to slide across that wall so you don't take fall damage. It's the most consistent way I found to do that. Well, so far. There's probably something else you could find. Mine the main Rain World Discord server, yes. Although I don't say anything ever. That was a kind of weird jump that I did right there. It looked like that was a faster than normal jump out of the water. I can't believe I didn't find this earlier. Oh, I might have messed that up. I'm really bad at like lining that up, because you have to do that like slide pounce as late as possible. I'm not really a fan of how you just have to sit here and wait for the refraction cell if you go too fast. There's kind of a cap on how fast you can go past the previous section, but I guess that's kind of nice because you don't need to play for perfectly. Do you just have to wait here too? Or is it because I did the last room slow? I really like doing this. Oh, actually, never mind. That was annoying. It's like the refraction cycle kind of is weird in this whole section. You can do a bunch of chained wall pounces there, but it is very difficult. I've not practiced it that much. Can I do this? No. I got it last time. Do you throw the cell? It's easier. Does it make a difference? It's not like a throw boost, right? I don't think throwing the cell like gives you speed like throwing a rock does. Does it change like your hitbox or something? Less weight? Oh, that makes sense. I still haven't found a consistent strategy for this room. I just kind of do whatever feels natural. And that's kind of what I've come up with. I always think it's strange that Rivulet, the aquatics like guy, is the hardest to control underwater. Except for Artificer, I guess. All right. I know I'm getting boiled alive. It'd be funny if you actually like, if you died from touching that. That'd be very mean. But it makes sense, right? It's hot enough to just like... It's very hot. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was a wall pounce right there. You can do them underwater for some reason. This area is awful. if there are jetfish here. If you and the jetfish are in the same tunnel, then they do not like to move out of the way. Oh wow, they tried to follow me up there. For this section, I think that I prefer to activate the reflection cell about there. So it's actually very difficult to enter the tunnel with it active. And the rest of the swim is actually very easy. Like you don't need to worry too much about. Running out of breath here. Just as long as you don't abuse the swim boost too much, it'll be totally fine. Alright, if you're like close to drowning, then the refraction cell doesn't work as well. Just because you swim slower in that state. So it does make sense. Even though I had like 2 whole pips of air left, you don't want to like try to make use of everything that you have, because then you'll end up just going slower anyway. Why? Alright. Okay, I guess I'm just not doing that. You can do a wall bounce there if you do throw boost, but I'm not good at that yet. £5. Alright. That was the first sub 29 run that I've gotten without creatures. And it still felt pretty messy. Like there were a bunch of ways I could have improved. Sometimes I would like make a mistake and I would retry the same jump multiple times in a row. And usually I think the best move in that scenario is to just keep moving. Don't like go backwards to retry it again. Just keep moving forward even if you don't, even if you mess up the tech. But that's what I did a few times in this run and it was still this fast. So with creatures it will be slower, of course, and RNG. And actually maybe karma caching does lose some time because when you karma cache multiple times in a row the timer goes backwards, but maybe it still adds a little bit on top of that. Who knows is called Rivulet. Well, Rivulet is just the name that we have for them. They're just slugcats. It adds like 5 seconds. Does it? Okay, so that actually does make a big difference. Is that Rivulet from Hit Indie Game Rain World? It is. So maybe this isn't actually faster. Also, I'd like to say that this is pretty much just what I've been doing for Rivulet speedruns. The last time that I actually did a real attempt of the run with no cheats was like... Well, I did one stream of it, but then before that it was like... Probably the actual world record attempts. That was the last time I actually did real runs. I've just been doing practice runs like this since then. Time for real attempts? No, never. Once I'm able to do every single tech in this entire run with no mistakes, then I'll go for real attempts. No, that's unrealistic. But creatures add an element of RNG to the run. Right. Thank you for that. And so when you do a real attempt, there is a chance that creatures slow you down, and there's a chance that you make mistakes with your movement. Right. So every time creatures interfere, it slows you down, and every time you mess up, that slows you down too, right? Those are like the main factors. And so when I'm doing an actual run, right, if I get really lucky with the creatures, so they don't slow me down too much, then I don't want to then make movement mistakes, right? That's my opportunity to do a really good run, right? I get lucky with the creatures, and then I like execute all the movement really well. So there's no point in doing real runs unless I'm really confident with the movement. So then I might like throw away runs where I get lucky with the creatures, you know? This doesn't mean that I'm going to do practice until I'm 100% confident with the entire run, like never make a mistake ever. How often will I use passage? Never. Ideally, you actually don't get any passages because they actually slow you down. Only in real time. And yeah, creatures. Okay, so funny story. Before I got the world record, I was doing practice runs like this with no creatures, right? And I got a sub 30 run. And I was like, okay, so I got a sub 30 run without creatures. Now I just need to like get lucky, do the same thing in a real attempt. But when I did a real attempt with creatures, it was actually faster than that practice run. Even though creatures slowed me down, it still ended up being faster because they don't actually make too much of a difference. And yeah, the main factor is resets. The scavengers actually worked out. The scavengers are probably just going to kill you, and if they're not there, They're not going to kill you, obviously. Like, most of the time the creatures either kill you or they don't interfere at all. Okay, just messed up that entire thing. Sub 28. That kind of sounds ridiculous. Like a perfect run could get sub 28 with perfect RNG too. That is actually faster, by the way, those 2 wall pounces. Never seen a Reynolds speedrun before? Well, most of the tech here is like completely different than all the other characters' movement. So if you want, you can still watch like a Survivor speedrun and you'll see all the cool tech they do. Okay, don't know what that was. And also, yeah, that's the other main reason I'm not doing real attempts. Most of the time, you're just going to die in the first, like, 3 minutes of the run. Doing these practice runs with no creatures means that there's a very high chance I'll make it to the end. I know that I literally just died to my own movement mistakes. Most of the time, that doesn't happen. And I can actually practice the whole run equally instead of just practicing the first few minutes. That's kind of how it was for Saint for a long time. I got really good at Sky Islands because I kept dying to like Subterranean. So I just reset a bunch, and then I got a lot of practice in on Sky Islands. I got good at that segment, but not really the rest of the run as much. Also, when I do real attempts, I think I'm gonna put on different music. Because this one song that's playing right now, it's like, it plays like all the time when you're doing real attempts. Every time you make it to the gutter, it starts playing. And since you often die in the gutter to all the lizards there, then it keeps playing until you get to the gutter again, where it restarts, and just an infinite cycle of this one song. He just stopped playing, but now that I'm about to get to the gutter, it's about to start playing again. Stoneheads, is that the song that plays at the beginning of Artificer's Camping? Yeah, that was a good one too. As in, it was another song that got annoying really quickly. Yep, it's playing again. I don't recommend doing another swim boost there. You end up just getting stuck on the top of that room. The Moon version of Random Gods. I actually really dislike that song. Is that a hot take? I much prefer Random Gods to that song. First of all, it's just way too loud. It's like way louder than every other song in the game. For some reason, in that one room next to Moon. What's that movement tech? Wall bounces, maybe? Where you're bouncing off the walls. Those are pretty cool. Unless you're talking about something else. Also, welcome to the stream. Actually, would have been faster if I didn't do a wall or a slide pounce or a roll pounce. How many different pounces are in this game? Slide pounce, roll pounce, charge pounce, slide pounce. This, or that's a wall pounce. Deer aren't actually that bad. Okay, that's a hot take. I shouldn't have let go. That's the fake platform. I got bamboozled. Okay, guess I'll just go up top. I think it's still worth learning that top route, even if you want to always go for the bottom route, it's faster. If you mess up like that, you can still take it as an alternative. Speedrun homework, not arrow homework. One of the main techs I think you should learn is this kind of like recovery you can do after a slide pounce. I can remember how to explain this. basically when you do a pounce, right, you land in the crouching state. There's this thing you can do where you jump and tap up, and you'll immediately start running forward, standing up. Like, I think I might do it right here. That. Basically, right when you land from a slide pounce, you can immediately start, like, standing up afterwards. And you can chain together another slide pounce after that without losing too much speed. Yeah, I just have not practiced that that bottom row too much. Is it normal to like Random Gods? Yeah. Everyone likes that song. I mean, maybe not, but it's very popular. Yep, I knew gravity would change right there. There's actually a way you can make that jump with the gravity being normal. So here's how you do this in low gravity or normal gravity. Current storage on that pole, you can do a backflip up. Uh-oh. Yeah, I was still moving too fast to eat the neuron, even there. Okay. You can do a wall pounce there, and it's very cool. But the gravity change round is not about to do it. You can do it, yeah, up there. I guess that's where you eat a neuron. So the AI hop, I think the way it works is that technically there is a frame perfect version of it. Oh, I forgot to do my thing. If you want to go as fast as possible, you need to do it frame perfect. But it doesn't have to be. If you're like 1 or 2 frames slow, then you'll still go pretty fast, but just not as fast as possible. No, I went in the wrong pipe. It's all over now. Yeah, you don't even need to grab onto that pole there. Okay, wow, the refraction's level super late there. It might actually be bad. I don't know if the cycles will line up. I think I'll just not turn it on since I don't need it, but I do need it later. right here. I can never enter this pipe in the right direction. Real struggle. The thing is that if you have a good cycle, you'll enter the refraction cell room like perfectly. Like right when the gravity changes, you'll get there, so you don't have time to eat it. Yeah, every character can do wall pounces, but Rivulet can do them a lot easier. In order to do a wall pounce, actually here's a good room to explain it in the gate. Basically, you just need to be moving fast enough and in a crouching state. And Rivulet can do both of those. You can just walk fast enough to do a wall pounce, and you can just tap down midair to enter the crouching state. And then you jump when you hit the wall. And if you're bad, you'll mess it up 10 times in a row. Okay, there you go. And other characters can do wall pounces. You just need to do a pounce into a wall, like a regular charge pounce. Or you can throw boost into a wall. The speed from the throw will let you hit the speed requirement. Rivulet is so fast you can just run into walls and you get enough speed. Oops. I like doing that. Okay, this is the room where I mess up. By the way, I'd just like to say, I discovered that before you did. Doing the pounce and then activating the refraction cell. But I didn't want to... Okay, that's the wrong backup strat. But I couldn't find a good way to like continue the movement. So you landed in a different spot. Well, hey, now I'm doing this stream, so you can see all the tech. I'll try this. Is that really faster than doing a backflip? That's the turnaround that you want to get. So you can immediately mess it up when you run into that wall. And that's, okay, that's how you do it correctly. That might be the fastest I've ever done this whole segment. Speedrunning is so bizarre. We're spending all this time playing this game and finding all these strats and movement and doing practice just to beat the game one time as fast as possible. Like, the real speedrun is just to buy the game and beat it as fast as you can and then never play it again. Like, congratulations, you beat the game as fast as you could. The more you replay the game and do practice and look for tech and stuff, that's like, you're just wasting time. Like, you already beat the game. Yeah, I really want to do wall pounce there. I think it's harder to do with spears because you might grab onto the spear on the wall. If you're a world record holder for a speedrun, then you might be the person who's played that one run the most out of anyone else. In which case, you're actually the slowest player. You want to have at least one item in your hand at this point. I don't know why there's a grapple worm here. I don't know how I did that. So that you can do an excited slide right here. Go for it. Wow. Okay, so that almost went well, and I just missed that. Grab up top. Maybe I should just keep going. It's obvious I still need to practice in underhang. That's what you don't want to do. There you go. It's really satisfying when you do it correctly, though. Fun fact about underhang, and possibly the rest of the game, although I'm not entirely confident with that. Whenever you enter a room, the same exact ambience plays every time. So in underhang, it's obvious because of the lightning. So when you enter a room, you'll hear lightning in the distance, but if you leave and enter the room again, you'll hear the same lightning at exactly the same time. Or thunder, I guess. Okay, that's about the worst extended slide I've done so far. Okay, let me make sure that I spit out the pearl so that I can deactivate the refraction cell. It's definitely something that you can do. Oh, that was fast. Was that like right before the gravity change? So that was the normal jump speed, and immediately became low gravity. You're behind by 8 minutes. Right, you said almost saved it, and I was confused. Like, almost saved what? Okay, just about the worst thing happened. Can't eat the neuron here. Yeah, got it. Ideal neuron consumption. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. I have to wait for this cycle anyway. Let me eat another neuron. Can't. I don't even think that saves any time, but that's, oops, why did I turn that on? You know what? I already died on this run. think you have to do that pounce kind of early on this platform. That's line up, or maybe not. Yeah, it is kind of weird. This area is very memory heavy. You enter rooms so quickly that you need to know immediately what to do when going through a pipe. Ideally, you do a bunch of pipe boosts so that you jump out of every pipe you leave. But there's only like a fraction of a second that you can actually see where you are on the screen before you're out of the pipe. So basically, you need to have them timed in advance. Why did I get a notification? Maybe I should take some of these practice runs and splice to... Okay. I thought that might happen, and I was like, no way, that's gonna happen. And then it happened, so... Oh, which shelter is it? Not that one. Not that one. This one. Should also cancel the other one. Oh, is YouTube dying? YouTube seems fine. It's probably your internet. Yeah, maybe I should take a bunch of these practice runs and splice together the best runs of each room. What? Maybe I can see if the oh, the pearl is still there. Maybe I could see if the sub 28 is possible. I kind of want to have a splice run like that anyway. Or I guess it's a segmented run, is what you would call that. Oops. Forgot to not do that. Because, you know, world records are good reference. If you want to try a speedrun, you're like, oh, I'll look at the world record and see what they do, you know. But if I'm doing world record attempts, this game. If you're doing world record attempts, you know, there's no guarantee that you're gonna successfully do all the movement tech in a run. And so if I mess something up, then you don't get to see what the ideal movement is for that segment of the run, right? Okay, wall jump and then pounce. So before you grab onto the vine, should you jump off of that last platform? Because what I've been doing is just walking to the right. I don't know if that's the problem, where I shouldn't just be walking off, I should be jumping. Or if it's a problem with my timing of grabbing onto the vine. Maybe I should practice that room a little bit too. Like these pulls right here are really inconsistent. Okay, I guess a jump there does work. So we can do the roll pounce. I think as long as you hit your head on the ceiling, you'll fall down fast enough. Okay, you can slide into this, but it's inconsistent. I'm gonna drop down like that. Don't usually take fall damage there. Got a bit worried there that I wouldn't make it. Wouldn't grab onto the pole or something. Yeah, that seems to work out pretty well. Don't leave the refraction cell behind. I think there has to be a better way to do this room. That first half. The terrain is so uneven, like the only thing you can do is just walk forward and jump, but surely there's some way to do that better. Like a slide bounce or something. That's very close, right there. There's no tentacles there on that rot, so they can't really grab you. And I would just sit here and wait. I feel like it'd still be slower to go down than to wait for the refraction cell. The bottom path just takes too long, climbing through tunnels underwater. Oh, but then you can't do this now. It's weird. I guess then you would just like sit there and or do the charge pounds. Rot Violi. Maybe it'd be worth it to do a wall pounce there. We definitely don't want to do that. Slow down a little bit before you grab that pole. Yeah, I tried to do a wall pounce every single jump there and it didn't work. Except for one of them. Throw the cell here. Was that easier? Maybe. I find it funny that you know, that tech right there, where you like jump across that gap in a weird way. Is the shaded karma flower the most optimal one? I think so. Because you have the refraction cell on, and you don't want it to be on for the next room, so eating the flower gives you some time to wait it out. Because there's the other one in the other part of shaded, but you actually want the refraction cell to be on for that one. So it would take too much time to drop it and then pick up the cell afterwards. At the very start. What karma? The one in drainage system, like right next to where you start the campaign. If you eat that, then it'll go away and you karma cache. So it doesn't let you keep a karma flower when starting. You can't just keep it with you because it'll despawn in the shelter. You don't fall that far. Can't wait to get around to doing actual attempts only to die to the eel lizard at the end. That has happened before, by the way. Not in like the long swimming section up until the hearts, but like right before that in one of the tunnels. They were just camping there. Maybe throwing the cell here is that. Maybe it's faster to throw the cell if it makes you lighter. I don't know if that makes your slide pounces faster. Definitely don't do that though. What I just did. And if you get lucky, you can do a pounce, throw the cell, pick up a rock, and then do an extended slide. And then pick up the refraction cell after that. That depends on if you get a rock. Bitter Airy Troll Lizard. They're actually not really that bad at all. The Blue Lizard and Bitter Airy. Usually you just jump over them. They're not really a problem at all. Especially as with Rivulet. The one in Sonic Construct is a problem mostly because it's in a room with a bunch of tunnels that are hard to this is exactly what you want to avoid. There's no way to get around that other Blue Lizard. But the one in Bitter Airy, they're pretty easy to just jump over. It might be faster to use the refraction cell early, but you can use it in that underwater section. But then it means that you have to do that jump first try. So if you don't, then the refraction cell will run out and you have to wait for an entire cycle for it to come back. But if you activate it later, then you get to use it in this room for a little bit. It's probably faster. Like, which one is better? Oh, I got snailed. And I dropped the cell. Ow. This room is not good. Was that a snail and a jellyfish, or was that just a jellyfish? I'll tell you where I died to the eel lizard. Right here. They came in from that pipe and I could not react to it in time. Like, I'm not like there's anything that I could do about it. Oops, don't do that. Most fair rain roll death. That is one thing I really dislike about the game. Those really long tunnels with a pipe at the end. If a creature shows up on the other side of that pipe, then you are just dead. You cannot move backwards fast enough to escape in most of those scenarios. Like that one in Industrial. Probably know what I'm talking about. Climb through the tunnel, a white lizard shows up on the other end. You can't back away fast enough to escape. You can't move forward at all. So you just die. You just lose. Like, congratulations, you win at the wrong time. Yeah, in the red lizard room. There's a few other tunnels like that in other parts of the game. It would be nice if maybe there was like a longer pipe leading up into that tunnel. So that way, if there was a lizard that was about to go through it, you would see the blinking light, and then you would know, like, oh, there's a lizard, I can back away. And the longer the tunnel is, the more time you have to move out of that tunnel. This one boosts directly into that wall. Can I do the wall pounce now? No, I totally messed up the timing. Doing extended slide here. Get my head on the ceiling. I messed that up too. Try again. Sometimes you get really high jumps out of the water for no reason. Oh, also a reminder, I've been doing a bunch of no creature runs for a while, but a Mirror's Vulture can spawn in these rooms. It can happen. Also scavengers too. There's a blue lizard, a white lizard, with some scavengers maybe, and a Mirror's Vulture, maybe. Like 3 songs that play in the entire run. Yep. A little more than that, right? It does get repetitive. I'm thinking of when I do actual attempts, I'll have like the Rainworld playlist on. Just for some variety in the music. Non-telegraph fast insta-kill creature. Yep, that's Rainworld. Choose your music playlist? No. I don't even know what's on there, but no. Damn, maybe that's strong. I think I'm gonna end the stream soon, but I want to have a quick look at a handful of the rooms that I was struggling with. I kind of want to create a list. Just creating a list of the rooms that have difficult tech, so I know like which rooms I need to spend more time practicing. So I'm also going to open up the map. So you get to the first shelter. Sometimes there could be a spear right here. Maybe not, because the scavengers aren't here. Actually, I can see how that's faster if you do it fast enough. Wow, really? If you do it fast, it can be fast. Yeah, thanks for giving me a good sample of why I shouldn't use that playlist. Okay, so starting from Chimney Canopy. Maybe the Plunk room. If I want to get consistent at the Plunk, I could... Let me create a notepad. So I can use work menu here. And Chimney Canopy. This room. Well, spawned on the wrong side, but I'll go here if I want to practice the plank. Yeah, be careful with going too high in that room. The next room is also a chimney. 10. This is the wall pounce room. I actually think it is worth practicing this room. Get the wall pounce. Like this, out of all the wall pounces you can do in this run, this is the one that probably saves the most time. Getting all the way up here. I think it's easier if you do it in 2 segments like that. So, 1, nope. Gotten used to doing that quickly. So 5 wall pounces. And then 3, if you, maybe you should delay that one a little bit. Like jump from up here. Maybe that's not a good idea anyway. Let's... do it from high enough, you want to be able to just reach that platform. I guess you could just do 3 wall pounces and then grab the pole. Ow. I hope you enjoy the cursor on screen. Yeah, you just grab onto that pole and you can climb up like that. But that's a platform? I don't even know if you could stand on that. Anyway, next room. I don't think there's any other in chimney that I want to practice more specifically. Exterior, definitely. I might as well just list the entirety of exterior. No. So this room in exterior. Right here. Yep, this, I guess I should, like, oh, no, there's grapple rooms right here. So just go down here, pick one up. I can practice this. But this is why. This is very difficult. You really just need to build up enough speed. Why is there bat flies? Are there usually bat flies here? I think the rest of the exterior is not as bad as that. Like, until after you get the reflections, so. The rot on the map is such a huge maze. I think that like the rot is like worth practicing a lot. Like no like particular room because you want to get used to the gravity changing all the time. So back to exterior, the one that's definitely worth practicing. Again. This one. You get rid of this get wall. Actually, I think did I skip one? Yeah, okay, I skipped the room. This room is also one worth practicing. So of course, this is the room with all this. That jump. I guess you can't just grab onto that vine a bit earlier. It doesn't really matter too much. It's worth doing that early compared to not grabbing at all because you just fall all the way down. Wow, I'm surprised I grabbed onto that. And then this one is worth practicing because of exactly what I just did. The pounces and on top of the platforms are kind of hard to get used to. Don't do the room like that. And after that, I think the rest of the leg isn't that bad. It's mostly just RNG with the DLLs. So 1-2 shaded. The main room is shaded. That's a problem. Is right, let's go to it now. Shaded. No, not this one. Is it this one? No. There it is. It's not enabled. So this is where you can do the pounce across the top of the room. People should pay shaded electricity bill for like lights and stuff because he's the one making it shaded. They didn't even have lights. It's just all dark. Who has an electricity bill? Like the spiders? Scavengers making their lanterns? The rest of rooms I don't think are that bad, except this one. Head to that now. 4. It's right here. With this jump. That was kind of hard to learn, but I think it can get consistent with enough practice. Shoreline, I feel like there's nothing really that bad in Shoreline. Yeah, it's pretty short. Then Submerged. What's bad about Submerged? Not much, really. If only Pebbles made it Citadel? What, like not existing at all? Yeah, Video area isn't that bad either. Okay, I have my list of rooms. I think that's going to be the end of the stream. I don't know when I want to start doing real attempts this run. Because I feel like I could practice this for like 10 more streams and never get like truly confident. I guess that's how like other speedruns are, right? People who have like actually like thousands of attempts in the category. Like that's kind of a strange thing for, I mean, maybe it isn't. I don't know how many attempts people put into like any percent runs. Okay, so let me go over all the mods real quick before I go. All the mods that I have enabled. Dev tools, first of all. Mostly just be able to teleport around and give myself food if I wanted like shelter or something. Keep that away from me is how I get rid of creatures. You basically just disable all the dangerous creatures. I have some enabled like bat flies for food. All like the creatures that could potentially be helpful in a run, I keep enabled. Like the grapple worm. I don't want to have to like spawn one in, which I used to do using this mod and the Beastmaster, but I think this one is a lot easier to use. I have warp menu for teleporting between the rooms, but the rest of the stuff is mostly in remix settings. So this is where the rain timer multiplier is, plus the stable karma requirements. I like having both of these on. Definitely remember to turn these off when you do real attempts, though. I would never make that sort of mistake. Nope. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of the stream. Map warp mod? Is that something different? Oh, I think I've seen this before. Right, I don't know. I kind of prefer the other one. I mean, I guess I haven't tried it, so I don't know, but I've kind of gotten used to this already. Yeah, any way to teleport between rooms easily is really nice. So for real this time, this is the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. See ya.